Oh boy. Today's gonna be a day. What was that thing we were gonna do? Let me write these down again. We wanted to check Sunless Citadel, that's right. And that Ashara variant that forces Ashara. That's in Toa. Tomb. And then we also want to check Barbicane, an idiot. That was that was fantastic. Wow. Swing and a hit. Perfect job. Very, very good. I appreciate the laugh. I needed that. Hey, Reds fan. Good to see you too. Oh yeah, and pulling from backgrounds. That's another thing. I'm just making some notes for later, for the second show of the day, when we'll actually have Dungeon Master and we can play around, try to figure out exactly how he works, if there's any kind of exploits. Yup, patch notes. That is probably going to be the central topic of this episode, I would imagine. I should keep count of how many times I get asked about it. In my defense, I'm only the messenger. Okay, folks? I am only the messenger. Oh yeah, thank you, Reds fan. I did forget that was also happening. Whew! Yeah, this is a huge week, just in general. A lot of stuff happening. Yeah, the Steam promo. That's gonna be huge for new players, or just newer players. Oh yeah, and the retirement sale and localization. Jeez, yes, oh my god. Like, it just, the list keeps going. And this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it can be a stressful thing. Yeah, that's a fair point, Barbicane. I hadn't thought about it like that, but I guess it does kind of, like, dilute the hype over Champion 100 because there's also other things happening. It's a good point. Oh, yeah, Request Show is going to be awesome. Definitely looking forward to relaxing with that later. Yes, yes, good morning to Jordan and Salem both. I hope that Salem's up doing okay today. I was visited by a mysterious black cat last night. It appeared on my front porch at midnight. It was very fluffy. I tried to go out to say hello, but it ran away. It looked very friendly. But he was scared. Alright. Where's my song? Ooh, let's do the remix today. Yeah. Mix it up a bit. Oh, Salem's chasing birds. That's cute. Who puts Big B to shame? Sorry, Big B. Got a job to do. Magic! I do, in fact, have a cup of tea. It's breakfast in Paris. Hey, Jason. Oh, thank you, loyal Kreebop. That's very nice of you to say. From your guiding hand. Look sharp. Yeah. It's probably the fastest I've been able to follow that up. Alright, let's go. We got things to do. We got things to talk about. Greetings, champions! Welcome to Mars Guiding Hand. I am Mars. This is Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, the free-to-play, officially licensed Dungeons & Dragons formation and strategy management video game from Codename Entertainment. On this show, we take a look at the latest content, discuss strategies, and answer any questions that you may have about the game. So get cozy, grab a drink, and join me for a little while as we talk about all things Idle Champions. Today is Wednesday, my dudes, April 27th, 2022. I'll only take a little sippy first. Delightful. It is episode 185. Hello. Says the code's not valid. Oh no! Sometimes it takes a minute for things to work. Wait, Sean's here? I don't see a Sean. Maybe Sean just, like, left the stream open from the last time he was here. Forgot to close the tab or something. With me today, as always for my morning shows, is Jordan. Moderating, producing, and catching questions. So, if you have any questions for me, please drop them in Twitch chat. That's the best place for it. Jordan will catch them and put them in the questions document for me to get to when I can get to it. We have no leftovers, so I'm at your mercy! Please, your questions! I can't live without your questions! Please! Have mercy. Send me your questions. Okay. Connellan starting us off with a very amusing one. Thank you, Connellan. Hey Mars, is there anything you expect to get a lot of questions about today? Perhaps regarding some changelog items? Yeah! I expect I'm gonna get probably a few questions about stuff that's in the changelog. Yeah. And then, of course, for the afternoon show, probably a lot of questions about Dungeon Master in general as well. To which I'll have to be like, I'm learning at the same time that all of you are, for the most part. Thank you, Tim Knows. Thanks for the good luck. I do appreciate it. Yeah, we'll all need it today. It's, there's a lot of pressure today, you know, because today is a huge day, a huge milestone for the development of the game itself. The 100th character, the 100th champion, Dungeon Master, from the 1980s Dungeons & Dragons Saturday morning cartoon show, is coming to the game later today. Not right now, but later today. You might even say he's a special guest. Oh, I'm hilarious. Ignore me. I'm nobody. Oh boy, I'm going to try to pronounce this. Keglistubson. How do you get all 12 champions shown in the UI bar? That I can definitely help you with. So, go into your settings. And where is it? Interface. Here we go. On the interface tab in your settings, narrow bench boxes. Make sure that this is checkmarked. If it's not checkmarked, your game will look like this, and you have to scroll across the bottom to find the champion that you want. If that box is checkmarked, again, that's on the interface tab, narrow bench boxes, then voila. They all appear at once. No more scrolling. They gave us this upgrade several months ago. It was sometime last year in 2021. I don't remember exactly when, but oh my gosh. It is such a welcomed change. People embraced this immediately. Oh, a quick check-in on my two accounts. So, clearly I'm just farming Mad Wizard here. I'm trying to get my gem count up over 500,000 again. Also while piling up some chests. My trials are going very well for 1 day being done. Yeah, wow. 6 minutes left, so I'm still technically in day 1. Tiamat's gonna go down on day 2. Like, this is incredible. Maybe the fastest normal difficulty kill that I've had for Tiamat. It's an incredible progress for just 1 day. My Epic account, if I jump over there, I have Deacon now. I did complete that Deacon time gate. I started a Deacon time gate on the show, right at the end of the show, yesterday. So, unlocked him, got the chest, did the second mission, did the third mission, ended up with E10 gold on just the first run, and then I just used, well, E10 favor, and then I just used that favor to just complete everything else. I didn't push for favor anymore. I was able to clear, I think, stage 380, roughly. I didn't want to bother pushing up to 400 at that point, so I just stopped and I picked up 3 silver Deacon chests and 3 gold Deacon chests. We can go ahead and open those. I am very close to leveling up my fast Modron core to level 4, so I'm very excited about that. Get another chest, get some more spots to work with. I got excited at that flash of purple for a second, but nope. Okay. At least we got all the slots filled. Wow, still ended up with a common on slot 3. Yikes. That's okay. He's mainly just here for the speed ability, which doesn't care about his gear. It would be nice to get his confidence in the boss feat from gold chest, though. Maybe that is in the cards. Let's actually check to see how close this is. Ooh! 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 That's very close! That might happen on the show today. At the very least, that'll be done by this afternoon, for sure. Cool. Alright, let's pivot back over to my Steam account. Keep the questions coming. Thank you. I like to build up a stock and then go through them. So I appreciate it. Okay. Let's see. There are still some variants that I need to do on my Steam account. So let's do those. If I'm a little sniffly today, just like yesterday, it's allergy season. So please pardon my human nature. Oh, Avernus. Going to 11. Key Champion Nova? Okay, yeah, I'll use Nova. Cool. Sure. Sure. Probably not actually going to use Quint. Don't need anyone on slots 1 and 2. So bench seats 1 and 2 are forbidden in this particular variant, going to 11. This is one of the new variants that was added to the game last week. They're trying something new. For some variants now, there's a key champion that you are forced to use, and this key champion changes if you clear a different variant and come back to it. It just happened to be Nova for this one, so I thought, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and do a Nova run. That could be fun. Alright, now who do I actually want to use in this? Let me get a Grama. I'll take a Briv. Yeah, it's okay if Briv's jumping over things. You can go over here, Briv. And sure, Dritz, you can be out here, I guess. Alright, good enough. It's messy, but it works. Alright, let's get to questions. Alright. Fuer Pills. Question. Starting with the obvious one. What do you think about the super amazing Ashara changes that we all love and understand? Oh, level up Nova. Thank you. Thank you, Barbacane. I didn't realize that I didn't have a familiar on her. Appreciate that. Okay, so Fuer Pills immediately asking about the Ashara changes. So let's open up the changelog and review together. There's a lot to talk about. I was even singing a little silly song about this morning when I was taking a shower, getting ready to do the show. I'm not going to sing it for you. It's very dumb. Dumber than usual. Ashara has extremely high usage and needs some slight adjustments to her big DPS ability. So they renamed Bond Half-Blood to Bond Half and Half. And they moved Halflings from Bond Shortfolk to Bond Half and Half. I like this one. The name Half and Half is just really cute. That is charming. I like Half and Half. It feels less gross than the phrase half-blood, also. As for, like, actually moving halflings over to be with the half-elves and half-orcs bond, so that's the half and half now, and Shortfolk is just unchanged except for losing halflings, I guess. That's interesting, because now it means that you can use freely as a halfling with Averin or Omen. It's interesting. I am going to have to play around with Ashara again to really get a feel for this before I make a judgment call. So for now, we're just going to report the news and save opinions for when they are more firmly situated. Adjusted Paragon of Kir Sabal to require 4 champions in order for Ashara to benefit from the bond, up from 3. So that's a huge one, and that's one that I think a lot of people are complaining about right now. Understandably so. Because it used to be that in order for Ashara to gain the benefit of her own bond, you needed 3 members of a bond group. So for example, Bond Potpourri, which includes Aarakocra, and thus would include Ashara herself, you would still need 2 more to actually get the benefit of the bond. Okay, so there's Ashara, and then 2 champions to get the effect of Kir Sabal for that first bond. And for the second bond, whatever you took, whether it was Half-Blood, or you took Shortfolk, or you took Exotic, you needed 3 members of that bond to also get the benefit to Ashara. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3 more. So you got like 6 champions required to just get Ashara online. Which includes Ashara herself, leaving you 4 slots to play with. Now it requires 4 champions for each. So you need Ashara for Potpourri, of course, and then 3 more for Potpourri Bond to then be applied to Ashara for Paragon of Kir Sabal, so there's 4. You also need 4 for the second bond, so that's 8, leaving you with just 2 to play around with. So I've seen some people saying that, like, oh, it's impossible to use Olkoria now. Or to use Baloth, or Hitch. A lot of the, like, the commonplace extras that Ashara DPS has really used a lot of. And I disagree with the wording impossible there. It is certainly more difficult, it's more challenging, but it's not impossible. And there's always, like, the future. As other champions come out, there might be other things to consider. Like other magic attacking for Olkoria, members of other, like, various bond groups. I don't think this really represents a fall from grace for Ashara. I don't think she's going from, like, god tier to bottom of the barrel or something like that. But it's definitely a hit. It's definitely a hit to Ashara. Ashara DPS, specifically. Ashara, as far as, like, being a support, still works perfectly fine. But this is one that, like, the others are just improvements, right? But this one is a hit. It's one that I'm going to be keeping an eye on as more champions are released, as other changes come through. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about it just yet. It doesn't make her terrible, but it does make her more difficult to employ as a DPS character. We've always said that playing Ashara DPS, Ashara is very picky. You have to be very careful about the champions that you're choosing because you are forced to rely on piling up champions that apply for her bonds. And now it's even more so. Yeah. We're probably going to end up talking about this a lot over the course of time. I myself have been an Ashara DPS main for a while now. She was my first champion that I got to full legendaries. She was my first champion that I got to average item level 5,000. Or just item level 5,000. Yeah, for the achievement. I even put blacksmithing contracts on her to do that. Don't do that. Don't put blacksmithing contracts on your evergreen champions. So, I have feelings about this, but I'm also willing to be patient and to have trust. It's not a slight adjustment by any means. It's a big hit for Ashara DPS because it removes effectively 2 of the extras that you would be using, 2 supports, in favor of having those slots have to be taken up by people that apply for Ashara's bonds. Okay, let's move on to the rest, because they're less divisive, I suppose, and we'll come back to Ashara. I imagine that's going to be the majority of the episode, is talking about Ashara. Alright, Delano. I love this. No core champion balance pass is complete without a futile effort to make Delana relevant. So the meme of Delana being bad is even in the patch notes themselves now. It has transcended mere discourse and is now like an official part of the game, and I love that. Increased surge of power from 10% to 50% per stack. We'll see if that makes a meaningful change to Delana DPS. Obviously, it is an improvement. It is objectively an improvement. That is true. Whether it's a meaningful improvement, we shall see. Makos. Makos' Dark Luck specialization is tragically underutilized and needed some love. So if you don't know, maybe you're a newer player, or maybe you just forgot that he could do this, Makos has 2 specializations. One of them being Dark Blessing is when you're trying to really use him as support. The other one, Dark Luck, is when you're trying to use him as a DPS, because when he gets kills, you get more gold than normal when you take the Dark Luck specialization. So increase the gold amount of Dark Luck from 100% to 200%, increase the base effect of Eldritch Alchemy from 25% to 100%, and added a 400% self-damage boost to the Dark Luck specialization. So this is interesting, and it makes me wonder if we're going to see like a rise in Makos DPS, at least for newer players, if he might become a more popular choice until they get different event champions that will outscale his damage. Because increasing both his damage and the gold fine is going to be very appealing for a newer player account, I think. Jamila looks like she got the most changes, just in sheer quantity. Jamila faces an uphill battle to be competitive in her seat. Perhaps these adjustments will get her going in the right direction. Increased retaliations bonus from 25% to 100% per attacking enemy. Increased the base effect of Frontline Fighter from 100% to 200%. Increased her base overwhelm number by 10. Still feels weird to me. And increased the effect of Indomitable Might from 200% to 400%. And added additional DPS upgrades to Jamila. So increasing her base overwhelm number by 10, it's still like... It's like they're really committing to the idea of a tank DPS who isn't actually a tank. By increasing her overwhelm, they're saying, like, we want you to use Jamila on your front line. But she's not a tanking champion. Jamila just feels really weird to me. Not necessarily in a bad way, but just in a weird way. Like, I'm not really sure what the goal is here with Jamila. I think what I would like to do over the course of the next several streams is, like, play with these champions and their changes to see, like, how it feels now, what kind of considerations need to be made for using them properly. Azaka, this one's interesting, because it is true, like, Azaka farming, incredibly popular to do. Azaka as DPS, incredibly unpopular to do. Maybe one of the widest divisions between roles. Azaka has a great niche, but needs some help with her DPS and support abilities before you hit your wall. Curse of Lycanthropy damage bonus increased from 100% to 400%. Taste for Blood damage bonus increased from 10% to 25% per stack. Renamed Adept Traveler to Adept Traveler. It's just one fewer L to change from British English to American English. And Adept Traveler base damage buff increased from 100% to 800%. That's a huge jump from 100 to 800. The Taste for Blood damage bonus going from 10% to 25%, that's very interesting to me. I'll get back to why in a minute. We're going to take a look at each of these, like, kind of go through their abilities to kind of remind ourselves. Like, I saw someone asking a reminder about what Magco's Eldritch Alchemy was, and I forgot that was a thing, too. I had to look it up, too. So we will go through all of these. Rhea was challenging to use, so we've expanded her potential synergies with Celestial Champions. Increased the base effect of Searing Radiance from 100% to 200%, and made the Fiend's bonus damage quadruple instead of double. And made Celestial Champion apply to all lawful and or good champions instead of only specifically lawful good. It now counts twice if they are both lawful and good. That's cool. That feels like a good change for Rhea. I have a vague memory of, like, going through Rhea's information on the stream once upon a time and thinking, like, it's really weird that she specifically buffs lawful good champions because of how few DPS champions there are who are lawful good. It's just not a large number. So it's like she's only meant to be used with a very specific kind of team, and that feels weird. Like, it's putting her in too much of a corner there. Expanding it to be lawful or good, and just doubling up on it if they are both lawful and good, that's nice. I do like that change. I like a lot of these changes. I think that they are steps in the right direction. Whether they will prove meaningful enough to really shift the meta, we shall see. Clearly, the Ashara changes are going to shift the meta, given how people are reacting. It's only Binwin and Dritz. They're the only lawful good DPS. I thought Minsk was. Is Minsk actually chaotic? I can just check that. Oh, he is, yeah. Well, that makes sense. He is a pretty chaotic individual, isn't he? So yeah, just Binwin and Dritz, huh? Wow. Yeah. So Rhea definitely needed that. Okay, so I think the first one I want to look at. Let's just go down the list, starting with Delano. So Delano increased Surge of Power from 10% to 50%. Okay. I can't. And I think I actually chose Delano for both of my accounts for trials. So I just can't. I actually can't go over Delano. I'm stuck. Yeah. So tune in next week when I choose someone else to be my Assault Party champion, and then we can finally review the Delano changes. Note to self, don't commit the same champion to trials for both of my accounts, just in case something like this happens. That's so Delana, isn't it? Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Oh, I just saw a comment from YouTube addressed to someone else saying that they should probably ask their question on Twitch. Yes. Hello, Steam and YouTube, if you can hear me. My mod is only catching questions from Twitch chat. I can see comments from YouTube, not Steam, but I can see comments from YouTube and Twitch. But I cannot see comments from Steam, and we are not catching questions from YouTube or Steam. So if you have a question for me, please jump over to the Twitch chat and post it there. Thank you. I try my best to catch YouTube comments as they go flying by, but it is difficult to do that, especially if I'm in the middle of explaining something. Okay, so skipping Delano then, because we just can't, let's go to Makos. So we need to take a look at Dark Luck and Eldritch Alchemy. Hello, Makos. So, Dark Luck. Makos' Dark Pact with his Fiendish Patron results in monsters killed by him dropping more gold. Makos deals % more damage. For me, it's 4.67 EO, 4% more damage. When Makos lands the killing blow on an enemy, they drop, for me, currently 2.33 EO, 4% more gold. So we're going to take Dark Luck. Then he also has Eldritch Alchemy. Increase the effect of Dark Luck by 100% for each evil or warlock champion in the formation. So, Dark Luck gives you more damage and more gold, and then the effect is increased further for each evil or warlock champion that you also have in the formation. So I suppose the ideal Makos DPS formation would probably look pretty similar to a Kron DPS formation, where instead of evil or high strength, it's evil or I'm a warlock. And there are quite a few warlocks, so probably not a difficult formation to design. And it looks like it's just an additive bonus. I've got 3 stacks of Eldritch Alchemy right now for a 300% bonus total, which is currently giving me 9.57 EO 7% more damage from Dark Luck and 4.78 EO 7% more gold. But Makos has to land the killing blow for that to matter. And so that's it. The Makos changes are pretty simple. It's improving his damage and his gold find ability when you are using him as your DPS. That's it. It's pretty straightforward. Makos as support, I don't think needed any help. I think Makos as support is still strong. But Makos as DPS is, yeah, very underused. I really never see people talking about it. Newer players, a little bit, but I'm not sure how much this is going to change Makos' presence. It's going to be an improvement, but is it going to be an enormous improvement? We'll see. Jamila, there's a lot. So, whoop. Okay, that was weird. Increased retaliation, frontline fighter, overwhelm, and indomitable might, and additional DPS upgrades. Alright, Jamila. I can't. But I can on my Epic account. Haha! Hello, Jamila. Okay, so Indomitable Might and Frontline Fighter are both increased. Indomitable Might, Frontline Fighter. Okay, we'll go with Bruiser, I guess. Keep leveling. Alright, now let's take a look. So her Overwhelm says 20 now. Even though she's not a tank, she has a 20 Overwhelm. Increase Jamila's damage by 2% for each tank champion she's adjacent to for Frontline Fighter. So if it's a single tank formation, you either have her at the front and your tanks are behind her, which is weird. At least you get the health sharing that way, I guess. Or you don't have her at the front, you have her behind your tanks, You have your tanks at the front, and thus Jamila's own overwhelm doesn't matter. In a multi-tank formation, like Baldur's Gate is into Avernus, maybe you can actually use Jamila and some other tanks. Just put her like in the middle and have a tank on each side, like above her and below her. That way you can at least have 2 stacks for frontline fighter. Okay. Berserker Confidence. Bruiser. Here's Retaliation. Increase Jamila's damage by 100% for each enemy attacking Jamila or an adjacent champion. Well, that's cool. I didn't know that it was also for or an adjacent champion. Interesting. How much did that go up by? That went up from 25% to 100%. Nice. Okay, well that feels good. At the end of the day, she's still a very simple champion. She just does damage. She's just a straight DPS who's also weirdly pretending to be a tank. Still not sure how I feel about that. Oh, I have a +5 overwhelm feat on her, so I suppose her base overwhelm is 15 currently. And that you could get that up to 30 with another feat. I really want to try a Jamila DPS formation now, just to see, like, how much this really changes things. I mean, I guess I could. We could do that on my Epic account right here. I don't need to continue farming with Deacon here. Sure. We'll just change this into a Jamila DPS formation. Why not? Alright, how do we want to set this up? She wants to be adjacent to tanks. And when I start thinking about tanks, the first one that comes to mind for me on my Epic account these days is Gromma. I don't have Ayla yet. So I'll take Arctic, because Gromma's not actually tanking for me, but she is a tank. Tyrell, but even in Moonbeam, I would want Tyrell, like, in the back, not here, where my Deacon currently is standing. That'd be a bad spot for Tyrell with Moonbeam. Other tanks. I've got Sentry. I've got Briv. I've got Tatiana. I've got Havilar. I've got Archon. I have Dragonbait, but it's the same slot as Jamila, so that doesn't work. Nova wouldn't work either, Lord Piet, because that's also the same slot as Jamila, and I don't have Nova. Oh, I forgot to turn off my Mojang automation. Alright, let's do that again. Okay, so maybe instead of Frontline Fighter, maybe instead I go for Indomitable Might for the temporary hit point shield, because that'd be a lot easier to set up. I can just put Calliope. Yeah, how many tanks do I have? Yeah. Thank you, J-Dog. Why is it that I'm always counting something? It's uncanny. It happens so often. Alright, Calliope. You get to hang out up here. I'll go ahead and use her ultimate so that I can get the temporary HP shield. There. So now this should actually take effect. There we go. Berserker Confidence increased Jamila's damage by up to 6,700% based on how many temporary hit points they currently have. Cool. So we got the total bonus 6,900%. Yay. Alright. And I can still get at least one tank in here for Jamila to be adjacent to. There we go. So we got at least one stack of Frontline Fighters. So we got one stack of Frontline Fighter, And we do have the full bonus from Preserve Your Confidence right now. Alright, let's see how much this can really go for. I guess now I'll just set up a formation. Just put in some more supports and just see how far this goes. Oh, I can't really fit Baloth in here. If I had one more spot in this column, I could. Krull? Pain? Pain. And I get to use my Wormspeaker Krull skin. Because I earned that. Suppose I could go with Gosrick. There we go. And Jamila, you have enough charisma for Hitch. So welcome aboard, Hitch. Good to have you. If I put in Shaka, how well does this work out? Not great! Sorry, Shaka, not this time. Makos, since you just got changes, welcome aboard. We're gonna go Dark Blessing, though, and ignore all of your wonderful changes. Okay. And... ooh... I have a couple evil people in here. I could go with Talon. I like using Talon. Talon's cool. Okay, so here is a Jamila DPS formation. We'll see how well it works out. I'm still not sure how I feel about this. But we'll see how this works out. It's going to be interesting, either way. Alright. Back to questions. That took forever, but we had to rip the Band-Aid off and go through that whole changelog. But at least that's done now. Red Ice C4. Question. I just started this game 3 weeks ago. Cheers. Welcome to Idle Champions. I hope that you enjoy your time with us. We have a lovely community. I wonder if I should use my blacksmithing contract to push my loot levels for unlocking Mert. I'm currently at 1,500 out of 2,000 loot levels. I'm coming from YouTube, and thank you in advance. You're welcome in advance, Red Ice. Okay, so... you can. There's nothing wrong with it. I did for my Epic account. I was so agonizingly close to unlocking Mert. I think I was at like 1,800 out of 2,000 loot levels at some point. And I was like live on the show when I noticed that. And somebody in chat suggested, like, why not just use your blacksmithing contracts? And I thought, you know what? That's a really good point. Okay, I'm going to do that. And I did. And I'm glad that I did. Because now I can just play Mert stuff whenever I want. Which, admittedly, I've only done one Mert variant so far. There is just a lot of things to do in the game. And I just haven't really prioritized patrons yet. But yeah, you certainly could. There's nothing stopping you. If you're going to use your blacksmithing contracts, I would strongly advise you to only use them on event champions, not evergreen champions. So not Brunor, not Celeste, not Nayeli, but yes Deacon, yes Sasaspia, yes Orkira, yes Korth, yes Talon, yes Whittle, yes Grama, etc. It's not your evergreens. Yes to your event champions, no to your evergreen champions, because your evergreen champions you're going to have a much easier time getting gear for over time. Like on my Steam account, my evergreen champions have thousands of item levels compared to my event champions who only have hundreds of item levels. Also, I like to try to keep people more even, because you never know. You never know when some kind of a balance patch might roll out and change some things. Or that you might suddenly need to rely on one champion that you were not using for a long time. And so when those moments happen, it's nice to already have some good item levels on them. So I like to spread the love around and keep everyone at about the same level as often as I can. Looks like my highest item level right now is still 50 on Minsk. Yeah, 49 Archon. And my lowest is like 3 on Warden, 3 on Deacon, 4 on Whittle. So I probably actually should use some of these blacksmithing contracts and get these other champions up to speed. That's incredible that I have 2 epics on Whittle, and yet her average item level is 4. Wow. It's a rare sight. Yes, not Dritzt. Dritzt is also an evergreen champion, so I would not recommend putting your blacksmithing contracts on Dritzt. Good luck to you, Red Ice. I hope that you enjoy your patroning. A. Morden. Question. The new champion will qualify for all patrons and variants, but do you think he will also contribute to buffs that require a certain stat, i.e. Hunter's Pack for Zorbu needing 15 dexterity? I'm going to go with no. I don't believe that's going to be the case. I don't think that Dungeon Master will apply for Zorbu's Hunter's Pack. I don't think Dungeon Master will apply for Hitch's Charismatic. I don't think that Dungeon Master will apply for Kreidel's weirdness that he has. I don't even remember what his stuff is called, but I remember he cares about whether someone has low or high or middle ground charisma. We will find out together, won't we, once Dungeon Master is actually out and available later today. But my gut tells me, no, he won't work like that. We will see. As I am often wrong. But we will see. Oh, that's interesting. Smugglebeera mentioning Whittle specialization. Yeah. Because Whittle counts how many champions around her have X or higher ability score, whichever pair of ability scores that you choose. So since Dungeon Master's ability scores are just written as question mark, it makes me wonder, like, will Whittle even count those at all? I'm going to write that down. That's going to be something else that we experiment with. Whittle spec count. And Xeraphon, yeah, good point. Xeraphon as well. There's so much to do. There's so much to do today. We will find out together how it works. Rinvincible. Question. For your Ashara formations, what halfling do you think you'll use for the new half and half bond? I'm probably Freely. Like, real answer, probably Freely. I was already using Freely in all of my Ashara DPS formations. So that one's a no-brainer for me. Like, I experimented going between either Half-Blood or Exotic. Now that Halflings are just with Half-Elves and Half-Orcs for the new half and half bond, then I just continue to use Freely. And I just commit to doing the half and half. I don't really like Regis that much. I don't really use Regis a lot. I'd rather use a Donar in slot 2, because Donar would count for Ashara's Potpourri anyway. I would put together like a quick and dirty Ashara DPS formation on my Steam account right now, except the current variant that I'm playing, going to 11, forbids me from using seats 1 and 2. And I'd like to have the full scope of champions available if I'm going to play around with that. Fishy, 1982. Hey there, Mars. Hi. I recently unlocked Azaka and Dragonbait. Nicely done. And at the moment, I farm gems and core levels in my first Mojang core party, and try to solve all standard missions in the Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign. What should I focus on? Progressing the adventures or doing some patrons? I've never tried a patron yet. I mean, you should at least try patrons, because you might just enjoy it. You should focus on whatever you enjoy doing the most. As far as playing optimally, I mean, there's different paths you can really go down. Even on my Steam account, I don't really bother with patron challenges. I just clear patron variants whenever I get the bug to do it. Whenever I just feel like playing patron variants, I just do that, and I ignore patron challenges. Most of the time, I ignore free time gate weekends on my Steam account, because I already have all the champions, and they've got pretty good gear. I'm having the most fun playing my Epic account, actually, because there's so much more to do. I would at least prioritize, like, unlocking your patrons and playing enough of the patron content each week that you can get at least the time gate pieces, especially if there's still champions that you haven't unlocked yet. Like, pick up the time gate piece that's available from each patron shop each week. Time gate piece, time gate piece, time gate piece. And if you want to keep playing, I would further suggest, like, at least play enough each week of patrons to also get each patron's Motron component chest from their shop as well. Those are priorities. If you're not going to do anything else for patrons, like if you don't want to just focus purely on patrons, at least get time gate piece and Motron component chest from each patron shop that you have access to. And now, of course, different patrons have different requirements. Like, for Vajra, you have to complete X number of Waterdeep Dragon Heist adventures. For Strahd, you have to complete the Towering Expectations adventure in Grand Tour of the Sword Coast. For Zariel, you have to complete the storyline of Baldur's Gate Ascended into Avernus. So, you might as well also work toward unlocking those patrons if you haven't yet. It sounds like you're already doing Waterdeep Dragon Heist, so that's great. Hopefully you have access to Vajra already, and if you don't, you will soon if you're working on Waterdeep Dragon Heist currently. But you should also get Strahd and Zariel going when you can, so that you also have access to their shop. Your priority really should just be, like, unlocking champions, like, just, you know, playing events and time gates as they become available to you. And so because you want to get those time gates going as often as possible, you should pick up the time gate pieces from the patron shops. Alright. And congrats again on Azaka and Dragonbait. They will be helpful for you. 9while9. Question. Mars. Modron Core Automation. Which is best to prioritize? Fast Core or Modest Core? Matter of opinion. So on my Steam account, I unlocked my Modest Core first because at the time it was the only core that existed. And I leveled that up to level 15. Yay. And I fully epicked it out. Yay. And then other cores existed, the Strong Core and the Fast Core. And I'm like, well, okay. I also got those to maximum level. But I'd already done all the work for putting, like, a very particular array of pipes down to get full epic on my Modest Core. I didn't want to also do that for the Strong and the Fast Core, so I didn't. So I just used the Fast Core for going fast, and I used the Modest Core for when I actually need to do a deep push. I just switch between the two. And that works out beautifully. I like doing that. My Epic account, I'm doing things a little differently. Because I got Split the Party 2 done shortly after Split the Party 1. So both of my Modron cores are currently the same level. They're both level 3. If I just switch between them. See, they're both level 3. But I'm actually focusing on maxing out my fast Modron core first. Like, I don't even have pipes down for my Modest Core because I stripped them all out so that I could put them on the fast core. I've got one epic node over here and one rare node over here. And that's it for my fast core at the moment. So which one should you prioritize? Matter of opinion. But if all of your cores are available to you and you're trying to decide which one to focus on, like if they're not already maximum level, I'm gonna suggest the fast core. I'm leaning in favor of the fast core just because playing the game faster is so incredibly valuable. It's more valuable than just getting bonuses to damage and gold. Being able to complete objectives faster is huge. Because if you didn't start playing this game in 2017 when it first released, then you are constantly playing catch-up until you are caught up on all of the content that's available. Unlocking all the characters, getting all the patrons. I mean, even just like getting all the skins, getting all the feats, getting all your achievements done. There is always stuff to be working on. Doing all of the variants and all the patron variants. That takes forever. And is a constant uphill battle. In a good way. Like, that's the content of the game, and I enjoy it. But it is just a simple fact that things in this game, any objective in this game, takes time. It is a huge time sink of a video game. And so anything that increases your speed, your ability to complete these objectives more rapidly, more consistently, is going to be of incredible value. So I'm in favor of focusing on your fast core if you're trying to decide which one. But if you just really like that, the bonuses that you get out of your modest core, then yeah, do that. It's up to you. It's your choice. Thank you, Joshua, by the way. I try. Yeah, it's what I say at the end of every show, right? Literally every episode of this show, I say, like, be kind to each other, be kind to yourself. Try to make the world a little bit of a better place. So, I try to stay positive as much as I can. And being positive, like embracing positivity, is not ignoring bad things. It is accepting that bad things exist and choosing to be positive in the face of it, in spite of it. Moving on. Bug me not, 1995. What did 1995 do to annoy you? Why are you asking it to not bug you? Anyway, with the Ashara nerf, is Ikoria still usable in Ashara Party? Still usable? I mean, yeah. You put Ashara out there, and you have to commit Ashara for Ashara DPS, obviously. You have to commit 3 more for that Potpourri bonds, there's 4. You have to commit 4 champions in general for the second bond to get the Paragon of Curse of Ball bonus for Ashara. So there's 8 champions, leaving you with 2 open support seats to play with. One of them can be Ikoria. Yeah. Of course you could do that. What will that actually look like? Not sure. Apparently I'm killing a scorpion right now. If I can get through this adventure, which is soon, Area 600, then maybe the next thing I can do is just start up a free play somewhere. And then we can try to build an Ashara DPS formation and see what that looks like. I have a very strong Ashara, so I'm very interested to seeing, like, what an Ashara DPS formation actually looks like today as compared to yesterday. So, patience, and we'll get that going as soon as we can. TSR Conant, question. I'm a newish player, about 3 months. Okay. I just bought 70 Modron chests during the recent special offer. Nice. Is there any reason for me to not open all of them now? For example, will I eventually open up new tile types down the road or something where having more chests then might be beneficial? Love your show. Thanks for your help. Thank you. When it comes to Modron chests, there's zero reason to hold on to them. It's like none. There can be an argument for not opening silver chests or gold chests or election chests or whatever. But when it comes to like Modron chests, just do it. There's zero reason to hold on to them. You should just open them all. 70 Modron chests. That's awesome. I hope you get some great stuff out of that. Oh, Sobi Snake just unlocked Strahd. Nicely done. Strahd von Zerovich. He's a scary dude. With some good stuff in his shop. Zorbu DPS is fantastic for Strahd, but you gotta get that keen mind feat for him. Elduin. Yay. Hey, Mars. Hi, Elduin. Good to see you. When I started playing the game, I was in the hospital recovering from a kidney pancreas transplant. The community here has been a big part of help. Wow. Man, you started playing the game in the middle of that? Wow. I hope you're doing better these days, Elduin. We're glad to have you. I really do love the community here. Like, even when things are a little spicy, like they are right now. It's also cool because, like, I know that we can have, like, actually good discourse about it, you know? Without naming names, I used to be pretty heavily involved in other gaming communities. And, oh my god, the levels of salt and toxicity. Yeesh. Idle Champions has been much better. So yeah, I really enjoy it here. And I'm glad that you do too, Elduin. Idle Champions has been with me through some very dark times of my life as well, some very scary times. I mean, even just like 2020. Anyone who was watching my show back in like mid to late 2020, you would have seen my background change multiple times over the course of the year, and that's because I had to move multiple times, like 3 or 4 times over the course of the year, to stay out of COVID hotspots while trying to do a show about Idle Champions. That was a scary time, and Idle Champions helped me get through that. And y'all know I deal with mental health issues, depression and anxiety, and Idle Champions has always been there for me through that as well. Jamie Unyielding. Question. Hey Mars, 100th champion party. Yeah! Woo! Special guest, us. Happy Tome Zone to all. Thank you, Jamie. Yeah, it's awesome. We can't... This is like the pre-game celebration, right? Because, like, he's not here yet. We know the celebrity is arriving on the red carpet in, what, 4 hours and 2 minutes. But he's not here yet. So, we're all just waiting. He's gonna get here and then party! Woo! Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited for it. Having reached that milestone is something that people have been waiting for years, you know? Champion 100, that's a huge deal. Like, for years, we talked about it. Just theorizing, like, what would the 100th champion be? Would it be someone from Critical Role? Or, like, if it is a content creator champion, then, like, who would deserve that? Who would deserve, like, that? To be number 100? That's so special. It's gotta be something special. So, okay, it'd be unfair for, like, any specific content creator. Because it, like, puts them on a pedestal over everybody else, right? So, maybe a champion from lore, then. Well, who would deserve that? We already have Drizzt. Elminster? No, I still feel like Elminster would do better as a patron than as a champion. Because if he was a champion, he would have to be, like, absurdly strong to the point that it breaks the game, that using anyone else is pointless. So I am glad that we landed on Dungeon Master from the cartoon for champion number 100. That feels good and right to me. TG Phoenix, question. Why does Ash's Short Folk Mond not count Whittle as a gnome? Does it not? What? Really? Okay, hold on. Come here, Shara. Yeah, potpourri, fine. Oh, I can't put Whittle in right now. I can't even do that right now. Ah! Alright, fine. We'll just take the half and half. We'll just finish this up so we can actually do an Ashara formation. Ah! Alright, so I'm gonna have to come back to that one, TG Phoenix. Foolishiness. Question, you never say positive about the Ashara changes, thank you. Which just seems harder, not less powerful? Briv, Averin, Freely, Penelope sound good. Who used for potpourri now? Gramo or Kira plus who? Donar? Donar's good. Plus that's just like slot 1, 2, 3 then, like, or Kira, Donar, Grama. You're really just like, you're giving up Baloth or Hitch or Olkoria or Freely, I guess, or whoever else you might have used as one of your 4 supports. Those are generally my 4 non-bonded supports. But now for me, Freely is part of half and half, so I still get to keep him. So I'm really just choosing which of to give up between Hitch or Baloth or Olkoria. I'm probably going to keep Olkoria. And between Hitch and Baloth, I'm probably going to keep Baloth. So probably just giving up Hitch. Alright, we just gotta beat this guy. And that's just a hit, just a segmented health boss, so this is nothing. Bye-bye, Narzugon! Narzu is gone! Alright, complete that. Let's go somewhere where we can actually test some things. Going to 11, complete. Let's go to Tomb of Annihilation. Because I like it here. Yeah, let's go to Tomb of Annihilation. I want to go to Grand Tours because I have an absurd amount of favor here. But I really want a 10-person party. So yeah, I'm going to go for Tomb. Ring of Regeneration. No. No, stop it. No, 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 no. 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 Everybody stop. Everybody stop. Stop the auto progress. Everybody back to the bench. You know what? This is a mess. Hold on. Let me just start over. I want a clean slate. No one unlocked, no one leveled up, just start fresh. Okay, thank you. Guess familiars out there. Oh, there's Ricochet! Look at that cute little crocodile. I love it. Alright. No Deacon. Yes, Ashara. Welcome to the board, Ashara. Alright, Bond, Potpourri. I need Aarakocra, Dragonborn, Firbolg, Lizardfolk, Minotaur, Lizardfolk, Minotaur, Tiefling, Turtle Champions. So if you're going to go Ashara DPS, you gotta go Potpourri. You've gotta go Potpourri. Ashara herself is an Aarakocra and counts for Potpourri. So we've got 1 stack of Potpourri already, even though we only have 1 champion on the board, which is Ashara, because she is Aarakocra. Okay. Paragon of Kirsa Ball still says Ashara gains the effect of a given bond if at least 3 champions are affected by it. Did they just not change the text? Yeah, requires 4 champions, up from 3. But the text definitely still says at least 3 champions. So maybe the text just hasn't changed. Alright, let's just put some people in here. There's Rakira. There's Donar. Okay, so that should be 3. Huh! Paragon of Kirsabal, Potpourri affects 3 champions. Bond now applies to Ashara. Huh. Huh. Okay. So that seems like that change hasn't actually taken effect. Alright. But assuming that that's just a bug and that they're going to actually make that work. Oh, check incoming effects. Bond Potpourri. Oh, but it's not on there twice, though. Okay. And if I put out another one... Bond Potpourri... Oh, yeah, there it is. There. Yeah, 7.57 and 7.57. Okay. Yeah, so you do actually need 4. It's just the text doesn't match. Okay, so that's just a text error then. Mechanically, you do actually need 4 members of the Bond. Okay, now let's go for half and half. I need half-elves, half-orcs, and halflings. Hello, Freely! Get in here. Okay. Half-orc, Briv. Half-elf, Averin. Oh, I need one more. If I go with Grama, then I can't use Omen. So maybe I just get Omen in here, and then I get someone else for Potpourri. I guess I could go Jaheira. Makos. Or Shaka. Shaka could be interesting. Tyrell. But I'd really like to use Ikoria. And Ikoria, if I bring you in here, how many spellcaster school stacks do we have? 6? Nice. Okay. How many are we up to? We've got 4, half and half. So we need one more for Potpourri still. Okay. I could go back to Grama and bring in Penelope. And then I can still have one more in here. Magic Attacker. 7 Spellcaster School Stacks. Nice. Okay, so what does this look like? I think that's an Ashara formation. I think we got it. I'll take Arctic. I'll take Law. I'll take... I'll get back to you in a minute, Penelope. Tailfeather, go with the flow. Focus neutral. Show must go on. Oh, yeah! Sturdy mirrors. Alright, Penelope. Okay, buffing Have You Met My Friends? Okay, so I don't need to choose the alignment of my DPS, just whichever one is the most prevalent. So I'll take Keep Your Friends Close. Cool. Alright, and... I'll take Minor Eruption. I just really like it. I like that this little halfling can just crack open the ground. Alright, and we are at 4 and 4 stacks for each bond. So for incoming effects, we should, yes, Bond Potpourri, it's there twice. And Bond Half and Half is also there. Great! So this is a functioning new Ashara DPS formation with the changes that Ashara has, while also still having 7 Spellcaster Skull stacks for Ikoria. Okay. So the only thing that I've actually lost here... I lost Hitch, and instead I'm using Penelope. I've lost Omen, but instead I'm using Grama. And I'm okay with that. I like Penelope and Grama. They're more interesting than Hitch. I'm still going to be using Omen for Azaka farming for sure. If anything, it'll be less annoying having to constantly switch his feats around now. Because I used to, like, switch him to his gold find feats or his support feats in the same run. But now I can just keep him on his gold find feats. Yeah, old man, I recognize that. The changes to Ashara are definitely going to be affecting patron variants, for sure. It's going to be an interesting time seeing how all of this changes. As far as, like, doing a deep push into free play, it's definitely still possible, and not just possible, but still good, for that matter. This is still a good, strong formation. So if you're trying to just push for favor in a regular campaign or an event, great. If you're trying to rely on Ashara for getting through variants, though, it's going to be a harder time now. That is going to have a much bigger effect now, especially for patron variants specifically. Alright, I'm going to let this one ride. At least till they get to level cap, and then we can see what kind of damage output I've got on my Ashara. Alright, Aramis, question and statement. Woo! Unlocked Blueshie this morning. Nice! Congratulations for unlocking Blueshie, that's great. Blueshie is, strong. Blueshie's cool, because of the whole, like, I'll eat your soul kind of thing. That whole theme. Also just being, like, the edgy goth teenager as a frog person. It's just amusing. It's a very amusing character concept. And then, on top of all of that, she just also is a strong character as far as support goes. Plus, the synergy with Desmond, that when she's in spirit form, she counts as a stack of Desmond's Lament the Lost, just like Spurt does. That's great. So I hope that you enjoy her, Eremitas. Alex Byrne, question. Jamil is still Overwhelm 5 on my end. Are the patch notes lying? Have you restarted your game, Alex? It should be 15. If you don't see that still, then there might be some kind of a error there. Like maybe the changes haven't gone out to all the platforms yet. Sometimes platforms take longer to update than others. Like I think Switch takes longer than everything else. She's 5 before you level her up. Oh, that's interesting, Dr. Savage. So like when you first have Jamila out... Let me take Averin out. Okay, so here's my Jamila. Huh! Interesting. And if I put her out there, now she jumps up. Okay. Yeah, so even without these feats, she would be a 15 overwhelm. Huh. Interesting. So it's like they baked in the plus 10 to overwhelm to her level 1, like, unlock. But when she's still level 0 and she's not actually unlocked for your team, it still says overwhelm 5. That's interesting. I wonder why they had to do it that way. So there you go, Alex. I guess just actually unlock your Jamila and then check again. Apparently, her Overwhelm is at 5 when she's still on the bench, but once you actually unlock her, and she's at least level 1, then her Overwhelm apparently will jump up. Which also, I think, means that she has the widest range of Overwhelm of any character in the game, that she can technically go from 5 to 30. It's a huge swing. Jamie Unyielding. Okay, so is the damage on Dark Luck supposed to scale off item levels? I thought it only affected Gold Find. Damage on Dark Luck. Yeah, so Makos' slot 4 increases the effect of Dark Luck and Dark Blessing. And Dark Luck increases Makos' damage and lets you get more gold when Makos kills something. So yeah, that slot 4 item increases Makos' damage as well as gold. So that is correct. Adu Fault, 22. Would Neris make for the best lawful good damage champion to utilize Rhea, given she tends to do more damage than Dritz or Penguin? Really? Really, your Neris, even though Neris is not marked as a DPS, your Neris does more damage than your Dritz or Binwin? That's just sad for Dritz and Binwin. I have not tried setting up a Neris DPS formation. I don't think ever. Maybe once, a long time ago. But I certainly don't remember it. It seems like something I would do, though. I do think Neris is very cool. Huh. I mean, maybe. If Neris is actually out-damaging your Dritz and Binwin somehow, then give it a shot. True on Hedda, is Makos now viable for an Azaka farm formation? No. Because Makos has to get the killing blow. Makos has to actually get the killing blow in order to get that increased gold find from Dark Luck. Azaka farming, you specifically don't want to kill things. You're leaving something alive and hitting it with tigers repeatedly to make it drop money as if it had been killed. But even though it is treating it as if it's being killed, it's not Makos doing the killing blow. So you're not getting that Dark Luck bonus from Makos. So, even with the buffs, Makos is incompatible with Azaka farming. Now, you could just have Azaka on the field. Azaka has a gold find increase ability, and then you could go Makos DPS. You're not, at that point, you're not actually doing Azaka farming. You're doing a Makos gold farm team, and you happen to be using Azaka for her increased gold find. But that's not a traditional Azaka farming formation. Reds fan, question, Mars, are they doing this since DM was added? I mean, I can't explain the reasoning behind why the specific changes were made. Outside of, like, what was told in the changelog. Ashara is extremely high usage, needs some slight adjustments for a big DPS ability. No core champion balance complete, that a feudal ever make Delamo normally. Magnus Dark Luck, this is all the information that we got. So I don't think, like, they're celebrating Dungeon Master coming out by making these changes to these various champions. I think, like, the timeline just lined up for things. Now that it's actually out, I can say that, like, these changes were slated to come out this week, and then they were suddenly slated to come out next week instead, and then they were slated to come out this week again. So it just happened to line up that now is the time for these changes to come out, regardless of whether we're getting Dungeon Master today, which we are, and that's also awesome. Foolish Genius. True or false? The devs mentioned wanting to do balance changes via number tweaks rather than wholly changing abilities. I mean, true, that is what they mentioned. The Ashar one definitely does feel like more, though, huh? Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they'll change it back after they see the community's reaction to it. It wouldn't be the first time. I mean, changes like this happen. And then, when there's a big enough outcry about it, changes unhappen, you know? I think there was something like this once upon a time. I vaguely recall, if anyone happened to be here, something about time gates. I think there was some kind of a change about time gates that was going to happen. And enough people, like there was enough discussion around it that they walked it back and decided not to do it. But I can't remember what specifically it was. It feels like so long ago now, like 2 years or something now. Anyway, there's a precedent for sometimes they actually walk things back. Oh, that was for events. Thank you, Gar. It's hard to remember the details when these things happen so long ago. Oh yeah, that was like talking about, wasn't that going into year 4? And how retired champions would work? So hard searching my memory for this. Yeah, Old Man Mars, exactly. I'm old and forgetful. I'm sorry. Weak of the mind. I am a forgetful person. For better or for worse. It can be useful sometimes. Sometimes I'll watch a movie for the first time, but I've actually seen it before. And people have to remind me, like, I watched this with you. I don't remember this at all. Niyakuma, when making a formation, do you only want one DPS and the rest as DPS and supports? I mean, essentially. Typically, the way formations are designed is that you have one DPS character. For me, that's Ashara currently. And then everyone else is buffing that DPS character in different ways. Whether it's my tank champion, who also is a support, or Donar is buffing everyone in the same column and everyone behind him, so he's in the same column as Ashara. Thus, Ashara gets the buff. Baloth buffs everyone in the column in front of or behind him, and he is in the correct column for Ashara to get that buff, etc. So in this situation, Ashara's my DPS, everyone else is buffing Ashara. Even if they are marked as a DPS also, I am not using other characters as a DPS, I am just using them for their support abilities. Shevek, question, Mars, are you a vampire or just a count? Blah, blah, blah. I would be a terrible vampire. I'm very squeamish about blood. One of the first things I do in any video game that I play is if there's an option to turn off blood, I always do. I don't like seeing blood. No thank you. I would be a terrible vampire. So I guess I'm just a count, because I'm just counting things. One flying snake. Twonker. Interesting name. Do item levels stay when you upgrade them? AKA, if I upgrade a green item to level 14, will it stay level 14 if I get a blue item? Yep. Yeah, you don't, like, start over or anything like that. You don't lose your item levels when you upgrade the rarity tier of an item. You keep it all. So don't worry about it. You don't lose it. Lunastar, hello. I've been playing for a few months. Is Frida any good? I love Frida. She's one of my favorite characters in the game. Is she a competitive DPS? She's not popularly used, I'll give you that. Her Hellish Rebuke can do some interesting things. You can really shred through armored bosses with Hellish Rebuke, especially if they have AoE attacks that hit multiple people in your party. But outside of that, like, niche use, she's not a popularly used competitive DPS character. I would love if she was. I would love if she was. She's one of my favorite characters. I've been talking about for months now, one of these days I'm going to switch to being a Frida DPS main. And maybe it's time to do that. Maybe it's time to finally make that switch, huh? Wondering Bref says that Frida can give E270 plus, but you have to work at it. Yeah, at the end of the day, any DPS can be extremely powerful if you work at it, if you invest a ton of item levels into them. Somewhere out there in this vast world is the strongest Delano DPS player. Somewhere out there. Somewhere out there is the strongest Rosie DPS player. And I'm betting they have like tens of thousands of item levels on these characters. Dahani, here you come. I think you're going to have to fight Foolish Genius for that one. I think Foolish Genius also likes Dahani. But Lunastar, I would say give Frida a shot if you're thinking about using Frida. I think she's awesome. But I do caution you. When the community sits down, they gather around the table to discuss the hottest DPS options of the day. Frida is not usually counted among them. Sean does have a good Delano. That's true. I wonder if anyone is stronger than Sean. Although, knowing Sean, if he found out somebody has a stronger Delana, he would just immediately feed his Delana a few more 1,000 item levels or something. JL Crow. Is it possible to link your Steam Play account to the Android account? No, it is not. There's no cross-play, no cross-platform of doing, like, one account to another. Which, I'm on the fence about that, personally. I talked about this a few times. Like, I've got multiple accounts, and I like that I have multiple accounts because it's nice to be able to start fresh periodically. But at the same time, I also wish that I could link my Steam account to my Switch, and then I could just, like, lay down in bed and just play my Steam account on my Switch. I'd probably get a lot more patron stuff done. Just laying in bed, lounging. That'd be cool. But no, we don't have that. We don't have cross-platform. You can't link accounts. Dance Lover, question. For Ashara's half-and-half bond, for Zariel, do Jaheira and Penelope work for her? Okay, so do Jaheira and Penelope work for Zariel, and then for Ashara's half-and-half? Penelope definitely works for Ashara's half-and-half. I'm using her for that right now. Jaheira... Oh yeah, is a half-elf, so yes, Jaheira also does too. Definitely. Now, as for whether they count for Zariel, let's check. For Zariel, it's Strength 10 or higher and Charisma 13 or higher. Penelope, 10 and 14. Yep, Penelope works. And Jaheira, 15 and 15. Jaheira also works. So that's a yes and yes. You can use Penelope and Jaheira for Ashara half-and-half bond, and they would also work for Zariel. So there's some options there, at least. Autocram, question. Does gold finding abilities for different champions stack with each other if they all are applied at the same time? Yes. Yes, so if you have, like, Champion X that increases gold find 100%, and Champion Y that increases gold find by 150%, then you get both of those bonuses, and they do combine. which is what leads to some players having a truly absurd level of gold find in the right setup. Also, gold find that comes from other things, such as potions of clairvoyance that increase your gold find, or your Motron cores that can also give you increased gold find. These things also add together, stack up. Smugglebeera, do you know how gold find works? Is it calculated when the gold drops, or when you pick it up? I think it's when the gold drops. I have a vague memory of the devs explaining exactly how it's calculated, like how that works once upon a time. But it's just... my gut tells me it's when the gold drops. But I'm not 100% confident about that. I guess one way to tell is I could kill something without anyone on the field whatsoever and pick up the gold and see how much gold it is. And then I could put out, like, my max level Jarlaxle or something and then kill, like, one more enemy. Oh, you know, kill another enemy and then put my Jarlaxle out and then see how much that's actually getting. Sure, why not? Shara DPS 4, 27, 22. Save over that. Okay. Well, let's test that real quick. This is at least something that we can figure out pretty quickly. Going back to where it all began. Take everybody out. Everybody go home. Everybody go home. Everybody go home. Jarlaxle. Stay on the bench. But do give me increased gold mine, please. Alright, so Jarlaxle will give me from E47 to E50. So that's definitely going to be a noticeable enough change, right? So let's take Familiars off. Now, when I kill these rats without anyone on the field with E47 gold find, I'm getting E45, E45, E44, E45, E44, okay. With Jarlaxle out here, E48, 48, 48, 48, 48, okay. Now, with Jarlaxle not on the field, okay, back to E44, E45. Let me kill some rats. Now I'm going to put Jarlaxle out. And now I'm going to pick up the gold. E44, 45, 44, 45, 45, and now back to 48 with killing the rats. So there, confirmed. It's calculated when the gold drops, not when it's picked up. Aha! Sometimes my gut is correct. Luistar, are the Brimstone Angels good or bad? Because I was thinking of buying them. Well, I just spoke about Frida, and she's part of the Brimstone Angels. Havilar is the other one. Havilar is awesome. Havilar is a good support and tank. She also has a speed mechanic, but you have to manually activate it by summoning her imps. Once you have it activated, it'll stay active for the rest of the run until you sacrifice her imps by reactivating her ultimate. So Havilar is great. Havilar is especially useful if you are fighting fiends. That's the only time that her speed mechanic actually applies. So that means that she's especially useful in Baldur's Gate Ascent to Avernus campaign, because there's a heck of a lot of fiends. Literally. Because you go to hell. You're in Avernus, the first layer. You get it. Anyway. So Havilar's great for that. Mehen used to be bad, but recently, like a month or two ago, got some changes that definitely improved his overall capability. He's not bad now. He's fine. And using the three of them together makes them even better. So, I wouldn't say they're like game-breakingly strong. They're not like Averin levels. This guy breaks the game. He's so powerful. Brimstone Angels aren't at that level, but they're not bad either. Sheba Kevin, how long until Dungeon Master goes live? Will there be a maintenance downtime? There will not be a maintenance downtime. Dungeon Master will go live in... 3 hours and 24 minutes? Should be. And that should go live across all platforms at the same time. What will probably happen is there will probably be a bit of a server choke point, like right at the top of the hour there, right at 12 o'clock noon Pacific time, because it tends to happen like that. Like everyone's updating their game or closing and restarting their game, so it puts the server under a lot of load. But it will not go down from maintenance or anything like that whenever a new character comes out. It's rare that ever happens. I can't even remember the last time that, like, the game was intentionally shut down for maintenance. I don't have a single memory of that happening. I'm sure it's happened before, but I don't have a single memory of it happening before. Gar, if you're still around, or if anyone else remembers, does anyone remember the game ever intentionally being taken down for maintenance? I have zero memory of that happening. Meanwhile, Bimble's question. Just started a new account aiming at free-to-play. Cool. That's what I'm doing here. Aiming at free-to-play. My main has all champs. Nice. I have the 250 and 5k gem familiars. Is the gem shop the only place to get them? Like, is the gem shop the only place to get familiars in general? No. There's also familiars that you can get from the patron shops. I already have them, also I have to uncheck that box, but... So there's the Golden Flame Skull from the Mert patron shop. From Vajra is the Conjured Spider. From Strahd von Zarevich, you can get the Toy Werewolf. And from Zerial, you can get the Baby Koel. So there's 4 more familiars that way. Plus all the familiars that you get from the gem shop. Oh, hey! Cool. Come on, Evix, please. Come on, a 4-way, please. Nope. Ah! I still don't have a single 4-way piece, I think. Well, that's a pain. I should really be doing patron stuff. I should be working on getting those component chests. Ugh. Oh, I should also level up people on here. So, between the 4 that you get from patron shops, and then on this account I also have 4 of the gem shop familiars currently, so there's 8. And then there's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 familiars that you could get free to play total. In addition to any that are given away via various promotions, like back when we did Isle Chambers and Score of the Raven Queen, everybody could get a baby Dark Mantle familiar. So that would be number 15 if you were there for that. And these things still, like, happen from time to time. Lately, it's felt like it's been, like, seasonally, but I don't know if that's going to hold true for the future. We'll see. So there's at least 14 that you can get from being free to play, which is a lot to work with. You could have 5 on the field, 1 on leveling click damage, that's 6, and then 8 more. So that's at least a full speed team, minus like 1 champion on the field. So that works out pretty well. Oh yeah, there's a familiar releasing on Steam today. There's a Steam promo that's happening. I think that starts at the same time as the event. So make sure to tune into, if you're playing on Steam, especially if you're a new player, it's going to be a huge help. I think it's called Whittle's Champions of Renown. Where's the info on that? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Whittle's Champions of Renown will be a free, like, just pack. An exclusive giveaway. Whittle's Champions of Renown pack given away to all the Steam players. All Steam players who log in Idle Champions of Forgotten Realms between Wednesday, April 27th, 2022 at 12 p.m. Pacific, so that's today at 12 p.m. Pacific, and Wednesday, the 4th of May at 12 p.m. Pacific, so 1 week from now, will receive the Whittle's Champions of Renown pack for free, which will give you Orkira, Whittle, Catti-Brie, Ayla, and Averin. That's 5 champions, good champions. Plus 16 gold chests with 2 guaranteed shinies for each of those champions. Plus an Awakened Toadstool Familiar, and an Epic Potion of the Gem Hunter, and an Epic Potion of the Gold Hunter. So that is pretty sweet. It's not the first time that we've done an exclusive platform promotion. Epic has had a couple. The most recent was for console players and mobile players. But now Steam is getting a turn. So we're kind of spreading the love around. Steam is up next for getting cool free stuff today. Later today. Shiba Kevin, how long until Dungeon Master... Nope, I already answered that one. Reds fan, question. Mars, did you know that Elminster has a daughter? I did not! Really? What's their name? I'll look that up. Narnra? That is a name. Okay. Oh, there's even a book about it that's just named Elminster's daughter. Huh, okay. Interesting. Takes place a few years after Elminster in Hell, which is also a great... I need to read these books. That's a fantastic name. Elminster in Hell. All right. Wow. Narnra is a thief who is raised by a single mother in Waterdeep. She eventually finds her way to Mars Ember and becomes involved in the intrigues of the Cormyrean nation. Cool. Yeah. Narnra. I wonder if that would be an interesting champion to have in the game. If we can't have Elminster as a champion, then maybe one of Elminster's children. Star Chaser, question. Can you talk about anything else that might be coming out today? Can I? Possibly. Here, let me check something. I'm gonna err on the side of caution and say no. Because there's a lot of pressure today to not screw up. Oh, foolish genius. I wish there was just a simple list that I could just go to refer to see, like, is this allowed? Is this not allowed? That would be so useful. Smuggle Beer, a question. I'm unlocking trials right now. Any tips on who to spend my first scales on? Yeah, sure. My usual advice, which is to focus on spending your scales, your Tiamat scales, to forge legendaries for the champions that you are using most often, and that you expect to be using often moving forward. So if a champion serves multiple uses for you, like you use them in your DPS pushing teams, you use them in your gold farming teams, you use them in your speed teams, if you are using a champion a lot, then they should be a focus. You should prioritize supports over DPS options, because DPS flavors of the month, or well, more of the year or the season, they rise and fall. Like right now. There's a lot of spicy discourse happening about Ashara right now, it's probably going to end up that Ashara's overall usage as a DPS option is going to decrease. I imagine that as a support, Ashara will still be fine, but as a DPS option, Ashara's overall usage is probably going to go down. So this is a great example of what I mean by DPS characters will rise and fall. But support characters always stay relevant. Because even if your DPS changes, you are likely still using, most of the time, the same support characters that you really have committed to. Like, even if I switch to using Frida as my main DPS, I'm probably still going to use, like, Baloth, for example. Or Kira. So those characters are safer for me to invest forging legendaries for than, say, Frida. That being said, I have made legendary forges for Frida. This is one of those do as I say and not as I do kind of situations. So, I prioritize champions that you're using more often than any other champions, and I'd prioritize your supports over your DPS. Ashe support is a bad idea? I mean, I don't often use Ashe as a support. On a new account I do, but only briefly. There are better options. Jamek, after discovering the joy of Jaheira formations, I think it's going to be my next big build project after Frida compositions. Yeah, you really like Jaheira DPS, don't you? Going with hybrid. That was fun when I did that yesterday. I like that. I could see myself using Jaheira more often. Your Frida's full legendary True One Hedda? That's awesome. I think that's really cool. You don't have to follow my advice, of course. I don't follow my own advice. Mark Beetlejuice, any advice on how to complete Elturel's Last Stand, i.e. the amount of favor needed, and if it's best to load up on Armor Piercer champs or a better formation? Thank you. Hitting wall around level 500. I mean, at the end of the day, it might be a formation problem for you. So my advice would be to get on the Discord, go to the formations channel, post the exact formation that you're using, and let people weigh in on ways that you could potentially improve it. Oh, Smuggled Beer apparently just did it on E26 favor. Nice. I cleared it on my Epic account at E27 favor. So, yeah, high E20s. If you're not at least in E26, E27, work on that. Get more favor. Get more blessings! Get patron perks! Get some achievements done! Improve your champion gear, improve your formation design. I mean, there's a lot of different dials that you can twist and pull there. Oh, for those of you who are asking who is my special guest for the code... Ugh. This is my special guest for the code. He was here this whole time. This is Crow. Ugh. Just a silly little thing. Because I knew someone would ask. If I made my code special guest, I knew that someone would ask, who's their special guest? And I saw a few people ask about that, so I had to have something prepared. So Jordan has Salem, and I have Crow. You're welcome. I thought about that. I knew people would ask. I like the cat Squishmallows. I have 4 of them. Different sizes and shapes and patterns. They are named Cotton, Yarn, Crow, and Shay. Like crochet. Get it? That's what I name them. It's a whole theme. Cotton, Yarn, Crow, and Shay. I like plushies. Always have. Delramian, question about Gold Find. Do they stack or multiply adds? Like how Gold Find stacks together? Just adds together, I think. Different abilities of different Gold Find champions might be additive or multiplicative for determining their total post-stack bonus. But then I think all of the bonuses are then just simply added together. Which still makes for a pretty huge difference in your Gold Find, if you really invest in it. Neon Treon, what's the fastest way to get gems so I can buy the third Mojang core? Oh boy, 500,000 gems, huh? You go to the Mad Wizard free play, you collect a bunch of speed champions, like Deacon, and Sentry, and Shandy, and Human, and Melf. You get them all out in the field, you put 3 familiars at least, preferably 5 familiars on the field, 1 on leveling up your click damage, and 1 on leveling up each of your speed champions. You put another familiar on activating Human's ultimate. You arrange them so that all their speed mechanics are working, like Human wants to be in the first or second column for a Grand Tour of the Sword Coast formation, in order for Zrang to be the top kobold, and thus to allow for Human's speed mechanic to be online. Then you save that formation, and you set up Modron automation to load that formation, and make it so that your automatic reset point, your area goal, is as far as your click damage will allow you to go easily, like one-shotting things. And then just let that ride over and 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 over. And one day, you'll have enough gems for the strong Mojang core. The better your speed team is, the faster that'll go. Preferably, you're also using the fast Mojang core, the one with the fuzzy white eyebrows, and that you have full epic output on all of the things that increase the speed of the game, like enemies have a 50% chance to drop 2 quest items at once or count for 2 kills at once. Time accelerates and everything moves 1.5 times faster. Increase enemy spawn speed by 50%, etc. Oh, those are wings? I always thought those are fuzzy white eyebrows. Wings makes more sense. Wings makes a lot more sense. Oh, Shavek, thank you. That is definitely a captions correction that I would like to make. Jamie Yielding question. Speaking of weird lore, I like the bit about Asmodeus' sibling, the world serpent god of the Coels. What? I did not know that. That's wild. Really? That's really cool. Yeah, I didn't know that lore. Huh. That's awesome. Okay. And I think that's going to do it for us for this episode. I'm going to end things here. If I didn't get your question, sorry. I'm going to make that a leftover and start the next episode by covering the leftovers. Looks like there's 3. So I'm going to wrap up so that we can set up for the next thing. Thank you, everyone, for joining me for this episode of Mars Guiding Hand. It has been a pleasure. Hope that you've enjoyed your time here. I have. Check out all the other awesome shows that we have. I will be coming up again at 1 p.m. Pacific time, so 1 hour after the event is live. I'll be back to unlock and go over Dungeon Master with you all and just see what he can do. Get to work on experimenting with some things. I figure we're going to do a lot of testing. Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. Champion 100. We got to make it special. All right. You can follow Idle Champions on social media. You can find me on Twitter at Ryan Blake Hall, but please call me Mars. Thank you to Codename Entertainment. Thank you, Jordan, for moderating, producing, and catching questions for me today. And thank you, everyone, for watching, being with me here, and being kind and patient with me, especially on a stressful day like this. Wherever you are in the multiverse, be kind, be safe. Try to make the world a little bit better than it was when you woke up this morning. whatever way you can. And until next time, which is later today, look sharp. See ya. Yep, 3 hours and 5 minutes to Dungeon Master. Beginning countdown.